COVID-19 pandemic has had a devastating impact on human life and the economy over the past year. But the impact has been uneven and inequitable as the disease ravaged some communities more than others. Women, minorities, and the poor have suffered disproportionately. The pandemic has exposed and exacerbated pre-existing gaps in health, economic security, and well-being, bringing structurally embedded inequality into sharp focus.
So I think because of COVID, the widening inequality, the widening poverty, the widening job losses is as a result of the structural issues that South Africa has economically. And I think those causalities or those issues that South Africa has always had are simply worsened. And until we deal with those fundamentals in our response and our counter-cyclical measures in response to COVID, we are not necessarily going to have reforms that are adequate to deal with the massive effect that it's had overall.
One of the biggest changeovers in the past year has been in the mental health industry. It is said the pandemic's impact on mental health throughout our society will likely outlive COVID-19. Mental health is more than the presence or absence of a mental illness. It is a crossroad between emotional, psychological, and physical well-being.
We've been busy. We've managed to fill our lives with busyness and relegated self-care to the bottom of the list. We take care of everything else except ourselves and being absent landlords. And what this did is it really forced us back into ourselves. And, you know, where things that people took for granted, people were willing to say, let me actually deal with this. And to say, actually, I need professional help to deal with this. And they were willing to make that investment to get to a better place with themselves as well as with either their work, people's disillusionment with, why am I doing what I'm doing?
On the flip side, in what has been a tough year on the global economy under the coronavirus cloud, it was yet another vibrant and exciting year for the technology industry. A report from Crunchbase has found 6 key industries, all tied directly to tech, whose businesses have been booming.
So in the past year, one of the big winners was TikTok, which appealed mostly to teenagers, but is now starting to move up the age chain and the value chain as marketers and brands discover it more and more, and as they become more legitimate as well. So that then will persuade the other social networks to introduce similar approaches or similar tools as to what TikTok offers. We already have a Nigerian version of TikTok called Vskit that is massive in that country and will probably expand across Africa as well. So look out for TikTok and its lookalikes in the coming year. They're all going to go even larger than they have been before.
Sometimes it takes a global pandemic to get us to appreciate our own backyard. In 2020, a year in which the coronavirus decimated international travel and brought terms like quarantine and social distancing into the vernacular, millions around the world turned to the great outdoors for refuge.
This time did is that, you know, we have had to rethink the things we take for granted, right? And also because we are so busy, right? So when that busyness gets taken away from us, it kind of psychologically takes us to a point of discernment where we have had to really think about what really matters in life, right? And we have had to declutter our lives in a lot of ways. You know, people in my training sessions with corporate clients, I often ask the question, you know, what was your learning? What is the gift for you of this time that we have found ourselves in? And people have said, it's given me perspective.
When COVID-19 abruptly upended our lives last year, it separated us almost completely from the routine and events that usually root our lives in time and help us commit it to memory. Despite the disruption, scientists around the world have worked tirelessly to deliver a vaccine. With South Africa's vaccine rollout in full swing, non-pharmaceutical practices that have brought us this far are still very important in helping curb the spread of the virus. A year later, sanitizing, washing hands, wearing a mask, and social distancing are still key to keeping us safe. For Newsroom Africa on Channel 405, I'm Khotso Sello.